Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Today I have for you a new series. I'm not quite sure what I want to call this yet, but it's basically going to be a mini games for dummies on Minecraft. I myself am the worst Minecraft, pretty much any game player you will find. I suck at everything, PvP, building, mobs, you name it, I probably can't do it. So I figured, why don't I get better and help you guys get better at the same time? So today's first mini game, and the next 10 or so episodes are going to be on Mineplex, because that's got the vast majority of mini games that people play. But today's mini game will be bridges. I know this is a popular game and everyone might have their own strategies, but this is pretty much what I've gotten out of it from just playing, getting on there and dedicating about an hour and a half just to learning and figuring out what to do. So what I found is there's 5 main things that you need to be able to get in bridges. The first is going to be iron, second gold, third coal, fourth food, and lastly weapons and armor, in that order. So let's get right into iron. Iron, I want to say, is the diamonds of bridges. If you can find diamonds, great. But chances are there's only going to be about 5 diamonds per game in your area, unless you get something from the chest in the middle. So iron's going to be where you want to be. Pretty much, however much iron you have determines how well you're going to do. Let's say you've got like 5 iron and you have a helmet. It's going to be a lot better than having leather armor and a diamond sword, and I can tell you that easily. And that sort of leads us in right into our next kind of area, which is gold. Gold is the, I want to say, fundamental part of bridges. So it's hard to put it into words. What you want to do is you want to collect as much gold as possible. And when I say that, I mean you literally want to get all the gold you see and all the iron you see and all the coal you see, which leads us into coal, which is the third main topic. Now typically coal is like the useless thing in Minecraft, like just vanilla Minecraft. But in terms of bridges, I found that it can really be a bit of a game changer, and that sort of plays into efficiency as well, which I'll sort of hit on this as well. But if you don't have coal, you're obviously not going to get your iron ingots and gold ingots. But more importantly, you're not going to be able to function continuously. You want to be able to mine and have stuff smelting at the same time and go back and forth so you're constantly getting stuff. Anytime you're waiting in bridges is time that you're killing. You only get 8 minutes to sort your stuff out, right? And if you spend it just looking at a furnace, you're not going to get anything done. Obviously at the start of the game to get your iron pickaxe, that's acceptable, but you want to be constantly mining, and if you're not mining, getting food or just building your armor. You want to be doing something. You should never be looking at your crafting table or your smelting area or waiting for the bridges to open. And again, this sort of leads us in right into our next main idea, which would be food. Food doesn't play a huge role in terms of winning. I want to say that food is sort of, again, it's like gold, it's sort of a filler. Food is something you need, but it's also one of the things you should get last. Chances are the game's not going to last long enough where you're going to lose so much food in combat that you're not going to be able to regen health. But it's definitely something you need to get, at least like an apple or something. But that also sort of leads us into the next area, which would be weapons and armor. And weapons and armor are, even after food, you make your weapons and armor last. You set everything up so you know you have a set amount of stuff. And the reason I say you make your weapons and armor last is because you never know how much iron and gold and maybe even diamonds you're going to get. Chances are you may find diamonds. And if you find diamonds, you've then just wasted 2 gold ingots that could have been put easily somewhere else. Or if you get like 8 diamonds, I don't know how you would do that, but if you got 8 diamonds and you've already built an iron chest plate, you will have just wasted 8 iron because you could easily have yourself a diamond chest plate. So it's definitely a game of strategy. You need to be it's a game of discipline, I guess, as well. Pretty much what I'm trying to say is you need to plan ahead, but you also need to plan behind. And what I mean by plan behind is you need to be staging everything up and up and up for that. So you need to, like, when you play a game and you lose or win, you need to look back and say, hey, I built my crafting table, I got my wood, stone, then iron pickaxe, I mined all my stuff, I got my golden iron armor, I built my diamond sword or whatever, and I went out and won. To put it bluntly, you can't win unless you plan accordingly based on the map. Which also leads us into kind of the next broad area, which would be map and map determination and what your strategy should be per map. Use the map to your advantage. That's the reason they give you the map and 8 minutes to do whatever you want in the map. It's not all about mining and food. There's farms. There's all these little aesthetical things that you can get. Food doesn't have to be meat either. In one of the games, I literally mined wood and got mushrooms, and I made a mushroom soup. It not only feeds you, but it also gives you regeneration, and that's something to take into consideration. If you've got mushrooms on your island, then get them, because in combat, regeneration will literally make you overpowered. Just, and in overall terms of like strategy and how you want to go about the game, it just depends on you. Me personally, I like to mine my stuff up, and just go based on the period of time, but also thinking ahead and behind. For you, it might just be, hey, I want to build all my armor first, get all my food, and then if I have extra time, then I can do all this. And that's perfectly fine too. I'm sure people do that as well. And it may make sense to put in the gems to, get a different kit. I will say, if you have Archer, you can be extremely overpowered in some maps. I honestly don't think I win in any of these, but I do always get to at least the last 5 minutes of the game. And that's how you want to go about it, because if you're only making it 5 minutes in, or you're dying in the building phase, which shouldn't be happening, but if you are, then you need to readjust your kind of strategy. I personally think the way I look at things is definitely a good start, and then you can build off of that. Again, this is only off of an hour and a half of knowledge from pretty much Minecraft's largest noob, but that's how I would go about it from a logistical perspective. But at the same time, you need to be making your own strategies. I know I say that you need to, it seems like you need to follow this strict pattern, but in all honesty, you also need to be branching off into your own kind of different strategies. Like mining, you might find that vein mining is the best way to go. I personally vein mine, but you may think area mining, which is pretty much just mining everything out in an area and maximizing whatever you get. That doesn't work for me. I feel vein mining is just the fastest way to go about it, and you see the most. But it's honestly it's very opinionated, and it depends how you want to go about it. But let's also get into some of the do's and don'ts of Minecraft bridges on Mineplex. Bridges is in a limited space. Your island is gonna be it's like a 50 by 50 thing, and it'll have a mountain and whatever. And there's two things that you should never do. One being mine straight down, because trust me, you will mine right out of the world, and I've almost done it 4 times. You cannot mine straight down. You need to make stairs, otherwise you will for sure die, because the height of the map changes every time, so you would never know. Also, never just run up against the side of the thing you're mining while you're mining, because a lot of the time, the maps will not be surrounded by bedrock. In some cases they are, but not in all cases. And what I mean by that is pretty much, you'll be mining and you'll kind of just be zoning out, and you'll walk right off the map. And that honestly sucks, because you get 8 minutes in, you're right about to go, you're like, oh, let's get some last minute mining, yeah. And you kill yourself, and that's honestly not a good way to go. And just my third thing that is a don't would be go for the chests. And you're probably like, well, why wouldn't I go for the chest? It's got all the decent armor, decent weapons. You will die. Because trust me right now, the way you want to go about it is you want to pick off the people that don't have much and kind of shorten down the things, shorten down the teams. And by then, because a lot of people die getting chests and don't actually get the chest, right? So you want to go in for the chest after you've killed 1 or 2 people. And then you just want to, because then you can sneak in there and half the loot is never taken. So that's personally how I would go about it. But if you find that you can go for the chest, go for the chest. There were a few occasions where I went for the chest when I thought I could sneak it in. If there's no one on that side of the map and you want to go for the chest, go for it. But you need to play the game safe, because if you will die, I guarantee you will die if you do not approach the game with at least some form of caution. And it's just overall, you shouldn't be running. Well, first of all, you shouldn't be mining straight down. That's a vanilla Minecraft idea, but you also shouldn't be running right into danger, especially based on the weapons you have. Because trust me, people have full diamond armor. I don't know how, but they get full diamond armor. And when you're using the default kit, you're not going to have full diamond armor. You might have a diamond sword at best, maybe diamond boots or hat. But other than that, you're not going to get anything worth dying for. And another kind of small note is just don't, how do I say this? Don't be a douche. Like, if you find diamonds, don't cover up the diamonds. We're all on the same team, okay? So if you get the diamonds, good for you. If I get the diamonds, it just means we're that much stronger. Same goes for if you got the diamonds. Share food. Give each other food. Give each other weapons. If you see someone's got, like, all gold armor, all leather armor, and you've got, like, 8 iron ingots and 8 gold ingots, give them your ingots. It's not an individual game. It's a team game, and you will get more gems if you win as a team than if you die alone. And I know it sounds sort of dramatic, but just don't do it, guys. Honestly, it's not worth appearing as a douche just to win. Because I promise you, you against 8 other people will not win. Or 10 other people. You don't stand a chance. The only way you're going to win is if you approach it with your team. And I know it's hard to kind of rally yourselves up as a team, but it's definitely a good way to go about things. But anyway, guys, that's all I got for you. That is my opinion on what the best approach to bridges would be in Mineplex. Thank you for watching, and I will see you all in the next episode. Peace.
I'm coming home.